Hey everyone, as promised, here is my short Cayenne review, and I think I'll start off by saying that I've been really surprised how much I enjoy the Cayenne, enjoy driving the Cayenne and the usability of the Cayenne. For better or for worse, my car's been out of service for the last 6-8 weeks, and so I've got to drive a whole bunch of Porsche vehicles, and the bulk of them have been the Cayenne, different models of the Cayenne. And I've enjoyed driving them so much, even at the point where I'm considering buying one. Although, is buying an SUV the first step to getting a minivan and a wife and kids and all those other scary things? I don't know. Anyway, maybe it's not such a good idea. But the point I'm making is that yes, this is the best SUV I've ever driven. It really is a lovely car. And the Cayenne is a key model for Porsche. Porsche sold, 40,000 cars in the US here last year. And almost half of them were the Cayenne, so they have to get it right, and I think they have. They really have done a great job with this vehicle. The other interesting thing about the Cayenne is the range. The range starts from the V6, which is around 50,000, right up to the Turbo S, which is 150,000. So there's a real broad range of base price there. 3 times as much for the top of the model from the lowest model. And within that range, I've got to drive quite a few. And I'm surprised to find the one that I like the best is this one, the diesel. And the reason for that is, while the S and the GTS are lovely cars, they've both got V8 engines, over 400 horsepower, this is an SUV. And so horsepower is less important. It's not a sports car. Torque is more important. And the diesel has more torque than the V6 petrol or either of the V8s. It's only once you get into the turbos that you start getting more torque. And so that's what makes the diesel not only a lovely car to drive, but it's also very fuel efficient. When I fill up the tank in a diesel, I see 500 or more miles range, because it can get 29 miles to the gallon. Even the hybrid model only gets, I think, 24. So in my mind, the diesel was a bit of a hidden gem. It's the second cheapest model, and it's one of the nicest models to drive, and that's why I'm reviewing the diesel, because it's my favorite Cayenne model. Anyhow, enough of me blathering on. We'll take it for a drive, have a look at some of the interior and exterior styling, some of the features, and if you've got any questions, remember, put them in the comments below, and I hope you enjoy the review, and I hope this is useful to you. Anyway, thanks for watching. Okay, let's take it for a drive. First thing you notice is the big windows and the big mirrors. You get excellent visibility. You're sitting high up like other SUVs. It's an easy car to drive from that point of view. It's quiet and smooth on just about any road. It's a lovely car to drive. The engine's powerful from the get-go. You're pinned into the back of your seat right from the first time you put your foot to the floor. The 3-litre V6, you start getting some power in the higher rev range, but all the time I found myself always wanting more power, whereas the diesel has plenty of power down low, plenty of power in the mid-range, and so it's got all the get up and go you need, and it makes it for a more relaxing drive. What I've noticed is the improvement in handling over previous models. This particular car doesn't have the air suspension, and it handles very well. It used to be, I drove some Cayenne and some of the earlier Touaregs, and air suspension was a must. These days, I think you can do without the air suspension because it handles so well. Taking a look at it from the outside, I think this is one of the better looking SUVs on the market. This Series 2 styling is such a huge improvement over the first series, which really had been hit with an ugly stick way too many times. Used to be they borrowed a lot from the Volkswagen parts bin, but these days they've put a lot of money and effort into getting the styling of the Cayenne just right. I did another one of my unscientific polls of my colleagues, 10 people, of which 8 people said it was nice. One person said it was ugly, and the other guy said, "Only dickheads drive Porsches, Nick, get out of my office." So overall, I think most people like the looks of it. This particular model is the Platinum Edition, which gives you that platinum spoiler on the back and platinum strips around the front and the sides and a few bits and pieces inside. It's another $10,000 more. It certainly looks good, but I don't know that it looks $10,000 good. Moving into the interior, this is where the Cayenne really shines. Everything is high quality, soft touch materials. The instrument cluster is the same as the Panamera and the 911. There's a new T-bar shift knob for 2014. Down here is where you get your diff lock, and this is where they'd also have the air suspension if it was an air suspension model. The back seats are roomy and comfortable, and of course they fold down. There's the air conditioning vents and seat warmers for the back seats. And everything's laid out so well. There's also the buttons up the top, like in the Panamera. And interestingly, also like the Panamera, that fourth multi-display module is lower resolution than in the sports cars. Just an all-round great place to be, the interior of the Panamera. And finally the trunk, which as you can see is big enough for at least 2 gorillas. So there we have it, the Porsche Cayenne Diesel. Aside from it being a little pricey, I can't really think of anything negative to say about it. It really is an all-round superb vehicle.